Delay. Test. Okay.
You saying something to me?
No, I was just doing a test here
okay.
real quick.
Okay, I couldn't hear it.
That's all right. Yep, so after intro, I'll talk for a few minutes, then we'll go to commercial break, and then it'll be all yours, Jolie, right down that format until after the player intros when it'll come back to us live. Let's have a good one.
We'll play the intro here right at 9:30 here in about 10 seconds.
Perfect.
All right.
All-Star Game Radio Network welcomes you to our broadcast.
It's not over the air, Dusty. You got music over 94.1 right now.
We begin with the 8-man Division
Dusty.
All-Star Game. 40 of the top.
Yeah.
You got music coming over 94.1. I'm listening on the radio right now.
I don't know why.
You don't have the intro over the radio.
I'm hearing the intro.
The 8-Man All-Star Game Radio Network welcomes you to our broadcast of the 29th Annual 8-Man All-Star Games at Trojan Field in Beloit. We begin with the 8-Man Division I All-Star Game. 40 of the top players in Division I in the state of Kansas are ready to square off in an East-West battle. Here with play-by-play action on the 8-Man All-Star Game Radio Network is Wade Gershner.
As we welcome 40 of the best 8-man Division I players in the state of Kansas. And a big welcome to our listeners on the 8-man All-Star Game Radio Network, 106.1 FM KXKU in Hutchinson, and KD Country 94, KDNS Downs, Beloit, Kansas. And to those listening and watching online at 8manallstars.com, glad to have you all with us today. Before we proceed, let us fill you in on how this terrific event became a reality. In 1985, the 8-Man Coaches Association created the Kansas 8-Man All-Star Football Game. The following year, 1986, area student athletes participated in the first game at Trojan Stadium in Beloit, Kansas. Players are selected by the 8-Man Coaches Committee each December, and in 2001, after many requests, the 8-Man All-Star Football Game became plural, as 2 8-Man Division games were played, with one game being played in the morning and another played in the afternoon. These 8-man All-Star Games rely on the support of the community as well as resources from the North Central Kansas Technical College, Beloit Junior Senior High School, the Knights of Columbus, and the Beloit Rotary Club. Playing the biggest role in handling the organization of the event is the 8-man All-Star Game Committee, as they work together to cover all the fine details behind the scenes to make sure the games and the entire week of activities go smoothly. And a huge thanks to the chairman once again this year, Dave Dubert, and the entire committee for their hard work and extra efforts in making this one-of-a-kind event possible in the city of Beloit. The entire week of fun began for the 88-man All-Stars on Tuesday as they checked into North Central Kansas Technical College, went through some team meetings, and concluded the day with a hamburger fry at the Student Union. Of course, every day this week consisted of practice and lots of eating, but there are also other things to do as well as players went to the movies. They attended an NCK Tech college tour, signed autographs, and enjoyed an ice cream social at the 8-man pep rally in downtown Beloit yesterday, and enjoyed a players' banquet meal last night at the Student Union. Now, for many, this will be the last time they will play football competitively, while others will be taking their talent to the next level, college. Judging by our chats with the players, they are ready to showcase their talents today in the 29th Annual 8-Man All-Star Games at Trojan Field in Beloit. When we return on the 8-Man All-Star Game pregame show, we will profile a few of our All-Star participants. We'll be back in 2 minutes. This is the 8-Man All-Star Game Radio Network.
The Schooler Company in Downs can handle your grain in a...
but we can help make it pain-free. Meyer Chiropractic Clinic, PA, 738-5353.
And welcome back to the pregame show for the 8-Man Division I All-Star Game on the 8-Man All-Star Game Radio Network. After helping lead the Osborne Bulldogs to the 8-Man Division I State Championship this past fall, 3 representatives from that team will try to lead the 8-Man D1 East All-Stars to a win in Saturday's 8-Man All-Star Game in Beloit. Colin Berkeley, Maverick LaRock, and Kenton Ubelaker are all set to participate this weekend. 3 were very key factors for the Bulldogs this past season. Osborne was a well-oiled machine in 2013 as they cruised through the regular season with a 9-0 record. Tough playoff bouts with Madison, Meredithine Valley, and Clifton Clyde got them prepared for Hodgman County in the state title game in which Osborne won 56-8 to finish the season with a perfect 13-0 record. On the year, Osborne averaged 61.5 points a game on offense, including an 80-point outburst against Clifton Clyde in district play. Kenton Ubelaker and Maverick LaRock were huge factors in the offensive dominance. They combined for 4,385 all-purpose yards. Ubelaker had 2,653 all-purpose yards, 1,545 and 25 touchdowns on the ground. LaRock ran for 1,344 and 27 touchdowns and had 1,732 all-purpose yards. Both players would probably tell you that they would not have had the kind of success without their offensive line. Just so happens that Colin Berkeley, at guard on that line, is also joining them this weekend in Beloit. The 3 players were not just offensive leaders. They also made a name on defense this past season. Ubelaker had 111 tackles, which was second on the team. He added 4 interceptions and 3 fumble recoveries also. LaRock had 72 tackles and 7 sacks, while Berkeley had just 16 tackles, but 5 were for loss. All 3 players are excited to play in this weekend's All-Star game. Ubelaker and LaRock are both coming off running in state track, and Ubelaker alluded to that earlier this week when we talked to him.
My legs are still kind of tired from state track, but we're getting through it, and practice haven't been too bad. Hopefully get everybody on the same page and get everybody clicking so we can just go out and learn.
LaRock knows that there are a lot of quality players on this team and hopes that they'll be ready for the game by kickoff.
I'm looking forward to getting all of our stuff put together and do it right so we can play as a team, and hopefully get that win. They're a bunch of great athletes. I mean, I'm excited to work with them.
Berkeley echoed some of LaRock's comments and is excited to play on a great D1 East team.
I'm really excited to be here. The team is really good. We're going to, if we get to clicking, we can do some good things. If we get heads to the blast. These guys are tremendous athletes. They all know what they're doing. They're all great at what they do.
All 3 Osborne representatives are ready to go for today's contest in Beloit. On the Division I West side, the Central Plains Oilers have great representation at this year's 8-Man All-Star Games. Colton Zink and Evan Liebel will be playing for the D1 West squad in this morning's game, and Oilers head coach Chris Steiner will be an assistant for the team. Zink and Liebel were big leaders for the Central Plains Oilers, who went 9-2 in 2013, losing to Victoria in the regular season, and eventually eventual state runner-up Hodgman County in a tough 44-36 loss in the 8-man D1 regional playoff round. Zink was solid on offense, 494 yards and 7 touchdowns rushing. He was biggest on defense for the Oilers. He led the team with a whopping 146 tackles. Cleveland was great on defense as well. He registered 135 stops, which was second on the team, as well as team high with 12 sacks and 7 tackles for loss. Both players are excited about their opportunity to play in the 8-man All-Star game. Zink thinks the D1 West team should be pretty good.
We got a very athletic group. We're not overly big, but we got some decent size, and we got kids that'll play everywhere and wherever the coaches want them to play.
Weeble is excited to have another chance to play for his coach, Chris Steiner, again.
I've played with him for 5 years, I think. I mean, one more time would be pretty awesome. Look forward to it.
Steiner is making his second trip to Beloit. This is his first trip to Beloit as a coach in the 8-man All-Star Games. He played in the game in 1994 from Claflin High School. He's very pleased to have some of his own guys being part of this year's game with him.
Oh, that's a big deal. I mean, it's good to have them one more time. You know, seniors going on, you always look for one more chance to coach them again. So it's just fun to have my kids here and yell at them one more time, you know, give them a little hard time and stuff. But no, it's fun. It's a great deal to have them.
The Central Plains Reds will try to help lead the D1 West to victory today in the 8-man Division I All-Star game here at Trojan Field in Beloit. We'll take a break and stay tuned here on the pregame show. Coming up, we'll get together with the head coaches, Paul Dole, head coach of the Division I West squad from Little River, and Romney Runyon, Central Burton head coach for the Division I East squad. Coming up, we're back in 2 minutes on the 8-man All-Star game radio network.
Sunflower, everything you need in seeding and tillage. Get the original. There is only one. Sunflower.
See your Sunflower dealer for the true original and tillage tools. Welcome back to our pregame show on the 8-man All-Star Game Radio Network. Wade Gerster with you, and I'm joined by Romney Runyon, the head coach of the Central Burton Raiders, and the head coach of the 8-man Division I East All-Star team this year. And Coach, how's the week gone for you in the 8-man D1 All-Star?
It's been a great week. It's gone by relatively fast. I'm really pleased with how well the kids have adapted and took on to our system. I'm looking for good things to happen on both sides of the ball. We've obviously had to spend more time offensively because you want to be able to execute there, and defensively the kids are such skilled athletes, they're going to be able to react and go hunt the ball down.
What's the biggest challenge? Is it just trying to figure out who's going to play what positions because everybody's so gifted?
That's one of the challenges too, but the system that you employ becomes a challenge for the kids, and more so just with terminology. If we go through across the state, a lot of coaches have the same plays and so forth. It's the terminology they use that can sometimes be confusing, but fortunately these kids are intelligent enough And that's what makes them good athletes. There's no such thing as a dumb jock. I mean, to be a good athlete, you have to think while you're on the move. And these kids have adapted quite rapidly. But that's probably the most challenging aspect. We've got a lot of kids we could interchange at a variety of positions, and we work things that way, just to make things maybe a little more democratic as well, so a lot of kids get a lot of playing time, too.
What do you think are the strengths of your football team, this all-star team?
We have a lot of skilled position people. We've got, and I don't know if it came down to the way we selected or the way we drafted, but we have a ton of kids that could play running back. We have a ton of kids that could play end. We're a little bit thin on the offensive line, and part of the reason for that, we had a young man that was going to play here for Madison, Hayden's here, and he got a call that he had to come to report to boot camp this week when he originally felt he was going to be able to play. So that's kind of a loss for us, but if you know that young man, that's going to be a gain for Team USA, let's put it that way. So, I'd say we're strong in the skill aspect. Defensively, we're very, very fast, but you ask the other three coaches the same thing, and that's going to be their answer, too.
Anything you know about the West All-Stars, concerns you might have with their team and their roster?
Honestly, in a situation like this, you don't have the potential or opportunity to go out and scout a bunch ahead of time. I've kind of had the mindset, and I kind of told our coaches the same thing, my assistants, that let's just worry about what we do, try to execute offensively the best that we can, and we'll go ahead and react defensively well enough to go ahead and make good things happen.
Coach, thanks for the time today, and best of luck in the 8-man All-Star game.
We'll take all the luck we can get. We haven't won it in a while, since 2008, I guess, and we want to try to make a change this year in 2014.
We are now joined by Paul Dold, head coach of Little River Redskins and the head coach of the 8-man Division I West All-Star team. And, Coach, I'm guessing it's a little bit easier to coach a team when you got All-Stars at every position.
It is a lot easier, and as a head coach, I kind of have responsibility to get them stretched and then just kind of oversee things. I've got Coach Clint Young from Kiowa County and Coach Chris Steiner from Central Plains taking care of the offense and defense, so I kind of get to sit back and enjoy things. But, yeah, it is true. These kids all know how to play football. They're all good athletes. They all know what's going on. So things come together a lot more quickly up here than they do in August when you're dealing with freshmen who don't know what's going on and that type of thing. It's been a real pleasure.
What does this event mean to you as a coach and then for small schools like Little River?
It means that our kids get another chance to play football. In the case of this year, I've got Trevor Smyers up here, and this is going to be his last football game. It gives him another chance to get out there and showcase his abilities. It gives me personally a chance, some great memories the last couple years of coaches that I've worked with and kids that I've worked with, and just getting an opportunity to get up here with a bunch of guys that love football, all have a common goal. And, this is our focus for 5 days is football, and it just couldn't be any more fun for a football coach or a football player.
What do you think are some of the strengths for your football team today?
We've got some good backs. We've got some real slippery backfield people who are going to be hard to tackle, hopefully. We've got some linemen that are catching on to Coach Young's scheme and all the pulling that he's asked them to do, and we're getting there pretty quick. And we've got a few defensive players that really have a nose for the football and like to get there in a hurry. So it looks to be pretty fun if we can contain those East athletes that they have. They got a bunch of great athletes. It looks to be a lot of fun.
I was going to ask you, what do you think about the East All-Stars? Talent on both sides of the ball, obviously.
They're a very talented group. They've got good coaches. They're going to know what's going on. They're going to be well schooled on what their responsibilities are. And honestly, they look kind of scary. They got some awful big kids and some kids that really can showcase some skill. So it's pretty nerve-wracking, I think, before the game here, just to see. You don't know what they're going to be able to do necessarily, but they look awful dang good, and it's scary.
Coach, thanks for your time. Best of luck today in the 8-man All-Star games.
Thank you, and I thank you for all the great coverage that the kids get up here, and we appreciate your time.
That was Paul Dold, head coach of the Division I West team. Stay tuned for more of our pregame show as we'll hear from all of today's players with our player introductions after this timeout. This is the 8-man All-Star Game Radio Network.
proud supporter of the 2014 8-Man All-Star Football Games today at Trojan Field in Beloit.
We now introduce the 2014 Division I East All-Stars, coached by Romney Runyon, Central Burton, and assisted by Chris Haig of West Elk and Mick Holt from Sedan.
John Bott, offensive line, Lynn. J.C. Younker, linebacker, South Haven.
Eddie Blaker, running back, Osborne High School.
Brett Peters, quarterback, Lynn High School. Anthony Hawkins, quarterback, South Haven.
Zane Mills, tight end, Sedan.
Caleb Janu, defensive back, Yates Center.
Robert Arnold, defensive end, Yates High School.
Caden Vanderpool, safety, Meredith Valley. Austin Biggerstaff, running back, Western Clyde.
Dallas Thompson, defensive end, Madison. Matt Jones, tight end, Meredith Valley. Maverick Leroy, fullback, Osborne High School.
Devin Freeman, Rock Hills, running back and cornerback.
Caleb Zueno, Crook and Clyde High School, quarterback. David Jabari, offensive, defensive line, Peabody Burns.
Colin Berkeley, line, Osborne High School.
Elijah Smith, tight end, West Elk.
And now the 2014 Division I West All-Stars. They're coached by Paul Gold of Little River High School and assisted by Chris Steiner of Central Plains and Clint Young from Kiowa County.
Alex Krieger, running back, quarterback, defensive back, Hardman County.
Tanner Chandler, Maxville, safety.
Dylan Myers, defensive back, quarterback, Rollins County.
Trevor Powell, running back, safety, Kiowa County.
Nathan Lamars, running back, Solomon High School. Kobe Lindsay, middle linebacker and fullback, South Central.
Chase Kennedy, defensive back, quarterback.
Full Steckline, No City. Nathan Brooks, Division South Central. Trevor Hodge, tight end, No City.
Colton Zink, linebacker, defensive line high school.
Mark Elward, linebacker, Solomon Creek, linebacker, guard, Hodgins County.
Josh Hume, nose guard, Kiowa County.
Cameron Ginter, center, nose guard, Rollins County.
Colton Panther, offensive line, defensive line, Lincoln. Mitchell Johnson, center, optic.
Trevor Myers, defensive end, tight end, Little River High School.
Evan Weeple, D-line, Central Plains.
Connor Howery, defensive end, Pretty Prairie.
And now, let's head back to Trojan Field in Beloit on the Kansas 8-Man All-Star Radio Network.
And Wade Gerster back with you here from Trojan Field in Beloit. A beautiful morning for 8-man Division I All-Star Football. Division I game here at 10 o'clock. Division II game coming up later this afternoon at 1:30. Right now, 65 degrees. There's a chance of some gusty winds up to 25 miles an hour. A brand new field here at Trojan Field in Beloit. They put this in a few months ago, all new sod. They recentered the field and leveled it out, and it looks really nice right now. About inch and a half of rain overnight, so there was some concern as to what the field would be like today if it continued to rain as it did overnight here in Mitchell County and Beloit. About inch and a half, but the field looks great. And Dan Page, our sideline reporter, is down on the field on the east side, and he's wearing blue, and he's on the blue side of the field. And Dan, the field you're standing on it right now, what kind of condition is it like?
Well, overall, it looks really good. The grass is dry at the tips of it, down deep, a little wet, just a little bit. Some concerns from the trainers on the sideline and here on the east sideline. There are some spots where kids could step in and maybe turn an ankle. I talked to Coach Romney Runyon for the east side about it, and he wasn't too concerned about it, but overall pretty good conditions for an 8-man all-star football game today.
What about chance of slipping? Is it's dried out good enough to where slippage might not be a big issue, or is that just to be determined?
You know, I don't think there's going to be much of a slippage issue. With the dry grass on the top, it tends to be a little bit faster when players keep going, and it's not that thick of a grass or high of that grass, so it should be ready to go.
Rodney Paulin told me that they cut the grass every other day this week because we did finally get a lot of moisture up here in the area. Dan Page is our sideline reporter today. Dusty Dinos will join us in a little bit. He'll be our color commentator. Once again, this is the 8-man Division I All-Star Game, and we welcome Ben and Scott Mitchum from Central Plains High School. As you can be watching the games today, we've got a link at 8manallstars.com, also at ncksports.com for everything that you want, though. Go to 8manallstars.com for records and rosters and profiles and pictures and a link to the live video stream that you can watch the game today on the internet. And there's a link at 8manallstars.com, and we really thank Ben and Scott for being here. And it looks great. We're seeing it. I can see the behind-the-scenes production. It's like a tour, and I don't have to pay for it. So it's very, very cool. Now, what we have here is the Division I All-Star Game. You have 40 of the best players in the state of Kansas in Division I. They are all seniors. You're limited to 2 players per team. Usually the state championship teams are allowed 3. That's something they started a few years ago. On the East squad, you have Maverick LaRock, Colin Berkeley, and also Kenton Ubelaker from the undefeated and state champion Osborne Bulldogs. And those 3 Bulldogs will be 3 of the starters for the 8-man Division I East on offense. Let's go through those starters for you. For 8-man Division I East in the blue uniforms today, Anthony Hawkins of South Haven will be the starting quarterback. Kenton Ubelaker of the state champion Osborne Bulldogs will be the tailback, and his partner Maverick LaRock of Osborne will be the fullback. Both of them are going to Fort Hays State to play football, and Kenton is also going to participate in the Shrine Bowl later this summer. Matt Jones from Mendocino Valley is the split end. Robert Arnold of Yates Center is the tight end. And Xavier Jabari of Peabody Burns is the left guard. Colin Berkeley of Osborne, the right guard. And John Bott of Lynn is the starting center for the 8-man Division I East Blue Squad. On defense for the D1 West, going up against that D1 East offense, it will be the defense of John Terhune. He is a left defensive end from Kiowa County. Nose guard is Cameron Ginther of Rollins County. Connor Howry will start at the defensive end from Pretty Prairie. Mark Elward of Solomon is a left linebacker. Colton Zink from Central Plains is the right linebacker. Dylan Tiemeyer of Rollins County is the left corner. The right cornerback today is Mason DeMars of Solomon, who did a backflip off a trailer at the 8-man pep rally yesterday and survived to tell about it. And Maxville's Tanner Tranbarger is the starting safety. When the D1 West has the ball to start today, the Red, their offense will be led by quarterback Trevor Powell of Kiowa County. Chase Candy of Hoxie will be a running back, along with Alex Krieger of the state runner-up Hodgman County. Trevor Smyers of Little River will be at a left end, and at right end will be Kobe Lindsay of South Central. Left guard, Evan Liebel of Central Plains. Zach Shue of Hodgman County will be the right guard. In the center from Hoxie is Mitchell Johnson. For the D1 East, when they are on defense, Xavier Jabari of Peabody Burns at nose guard. Dallas Thompson of Madison at defensive end. Elijah Smith of West Elk at defensive end. Matt Jones of Mendocino Valley at left linebacker. The right linebacker is an all-stater in J.T. Yunker of South Haven. Zane Mills of Sedan is at corner. Devin Freeman of Rock Hills High School is at a cornerback position. And Caden Vanderpool of Mendocino Valley starts at safety. Other all-stars that are not starting but will see plenty of time on the field. For the East, Brett Peters of Lynn, Caleb Danoon of Yates Center, Austin Biggerstaff, and Caleb Gelino of Clifton Clyde. For the West, Cole Steckline and Trevor Hawkins of Ness City, Nathan Brooks of South Central, and Colton Panzer from Lincoln. The coach is Romney Runyon in his 8th year at Central Burton and has been very successful as a baseball coach, a record of 201-11 and state runner-up in baseball in 98, 99, 03, 04, and 05. He's assisted by Chris Haig of West Elk. West Elk went 9-1 last year, their best year ever. Mick Holt is the assistant coach from Sedan with a career record of 46-36. For the D1 West, the head coach is Paul Dold of Little River. In his 4th year as head coach, 17 years at Little River, worked with Shane Cordell, and has 6 kids, so he has his hands full, coaching and teaching, and 6 children. Chris Steiner of Central Plains is assistant coach, 22-9 in 3 years, played in the game as a Claflin grad in 94, and Clint Young of Kiowa County is the other assistant coach. We're going to pause now, and we're going to put our headset out here where you can hear the national anthem here at the 8-man All-Star Games here in Beloit, Kansas at Trojan Field. Hope you enjoy the national anthem, which will be performed here in just a moment. And it's a gorgeous day here in Beloit. Temperature 65 degrees, 8-man Division II game coming up at 1:30. our national anthem. We're about 2 minutes away from kickoff. 8-man Division I All-Star Game here on KD Country 94, also on KXKU out of Hutchinson, and also 8manallstars.com with the audio feed and also the video stream. Thanks to our friends from Central Plains High School, Scott and Ben Mitchum. All right, the officials for today's game. Looks like we may have a different official a replacement because I know one of those. But Tom King, Jamie McClure, Ron Tenbrink, Lenny Pacey, Devin Treaster, and I thought I saw Scott Crew out there being an official as well. And the trainers, Steve Schroeder and Brett Macklin. And that is the setup. Devin Treaster, he's a good friend of mine, so we have fun with him. And he was involved. There was an ejection from the 8-man All-Star Games a few years ago, believe it or not. First ever ejection that we know about, so I nicknamed Devin Treaster Mystery Ejection. Let's go down on the field to Dan Page, and we'll see who wins the coin toss.
If we have any problems with you guys come to us. We'll try to get the problem resolved, okay? Who wants to call it? Number 8, okay. It is a heads. You guys have won the toss. What are your options? Defer? You guys want to receive? Yes, sir. Which end do you guys want to defend?
We'll kick this way.
Kick this way? Go ahead and put your backs to respective goal lines. Blue has won the toss.
Okay, so it looks like Dan Blue has won the toss. Is that right?
That's right. They deferred.
So the red will get the football first. So the blue has a lot of offensive weapons. They say we're going to put our defense on the field first, and so it will be the West team, the West squad, that will get the football first. Well, Dan, are the kids pumped up, ready to go?
Oh, yeah, they're really psyched. I talked to Kenton Ubelaker. He said last week, or at the beginning of the week, that he was a little tight from state track. He feels ready to go, feels great. The guys overall, both sides, ready, pumped, and ready for this one.
All right, Dan, we'll have you turn off your mic then as we get back into the action here for kickoff. As we can tell you that there's a good contingent of Osborne fans right in front of us here at Trojan Field in Beloit. See a lot of Maverick LaRock and Kenton Ubelaker jerseys, and Berkeley, of course, well represented here as well. Osborne not too far away from Beloit. So we are about ready to get this one underway. The Division I East team has a goal, and that is to win. And that seems common, of course, but they haven't won since 2008. It's a 5-game winning streak for the D1 West. So the D1 East has a lot of determination, Dusty, that, hey, this one, we're tired of this streak, even though we weren't a part of the last 4.
Yeah, it's just about pride. No matter if you're part of it or not, you want to represent for your team, no matter when you're doing it and how it happens. It's like every streak in any sport. Even if you weren't part of it, you want to break it.
Well, every streak comes to an end. Here's a kickoff by Rock Hill's Devin Freeman. It goes into the end zone, and back to return was Trevor Powell of Kiowa County, but it's in the end zone for a touchback. And it will be the D1 West All-Stars with the football first, led by quarterback Trevor Powell of Kiowa County, Chase Kennedy, and Alex Krieger, the running backs, and Trevor Smyers, Kobe Lindsay, the ends, and the offensive lineman Mitchell Johnson, center, Zach Shue, and Evan Liebel are the guards. So it is West with the ball, first down at 10 from the 15, 8-man football. It's a 80-yard field, 40-yard line is midfield, and of course the touchback is at the 15, not the 20. And here's a direct snap to the quarterback, and this is Powell. Powell's able to pick up 3 on the play, and in there to make the stop for the Division I East team was Elijah Smith from West Elk.
Got a feeling there's going to be a lot of that power set here today from the West team. Just kind of direct snap and take it and run with it because they don't have a prototypical quarterback, I guess you'd say.
Xavier Jabari, Dallas Thompson, Elijah Smith, Matt Jones, J.T. Yunker, Zane Mills, and Devin Freeman, along with Caden Vanderpool, the starters on defense, as they have 7 players in the box on defense. Here's a little in around for the wingback, and a nice play made. Shooting through is Matt Jones from Mendocino Valley, and he's able to trip up the running back, which is Tranbarger from the West squad out of Maxville. Came into the game, and he loses about a yard, maybe a yard and a half.
Yeah, a little misdirection to start the game there on the second play from the West. That's some good defense right there from the East, keeping their containment, and Jones comes in from his linebacker spot and takes care of the job.
So it is 3rd down and 8 for the Division I West All-Stars. They are moving right to left on your radio dial. The sun has peeked out from behind the overcast skies, and we have a beautiful morning for football here in Beloit. Out of the shotgun formation, rolling right is Powell. He surveys, he fires. It is caught for a first down, past the 25, down to the 26-yard line. Making the catch for the West squad was Trevor Smyers of Little River, and making the tackle, Zane Mills of Sedan was over there.
The coverage really couldn't have been any better by Mills. That was a really good pass from Powell. Again, a kid that's more accustomed to running the football, but did a nice job on the bootleg that time.
So Smyers with the catch, a pickup of 9 on the play from Powell to Smyers, and it brings up first down and 10. They convert on 3rd down and 8, do the Division I West All-Stars. Out of the gun once again, in motion, and has some movement, and the first penalty flag of the day coming from the officials. We'll get the official call from the Whitehead himself, Mr. Devin Treaster. He says false start on the West, so it'll be first down and 15 and moving back to the 21-yard line. Well, you know, this brand new field here at Trojan Stadium, a lot of people were talking about it a few months ago. How in the world is it even ready to go? They put the sod down. It looks really nice.
Yeah, it does. I haven't been here actually out here to the field since the Bullet Relays, and it's a lot different right now than it was then.
Yeah, Rodney Paulin said he mowed it every other day, and then there was a lot of rain last night, a little bit of concern, but today it looks like the weather's going to cooperate. First down at 15 for the 21 for the Division I West. Little play action, they pitch opposite side, and this goes to Kennedy of Hoxie, and nothing doing whatsoever. Great pursuit down the line of scrimmage by the Division I East All-Stars. Over there for the East, Caden Vanderpool of Mendocino Valley, and also over there is Dallas Thompson of Madison.
Interested to see how Kennedy does at that running back position because he spent the last 2 and even 3 years playing the quarterback position for Hoxie. So it's just interesting to see how some of these guys get moved to different positions and how they're going to react and respond to that.
Yeah, how many times do we see guys that are normally running the ball 1,600 yards for their team and all of a sudden they're just playing linebacker or they're all of a sudden a tight end? Second down and 16 for the West. In motion, Kennedy. This is Powell. He keeps it, and he's taken down by Elijah Smith. Also there is Devin Freeman, the Rock Hill Grizzly, making the stop, and a gain of just a yard for Powell.
Smith was all over that one from the start. Again, the East is doing a really nice job in run defense right now, keeping containment. Just the one pass that Powell was able to get through there to get the first down. Other than that, the East has been solid defensively early on.
Third down and 15 for the West. Moving to our left, they have the ball at their own 22. 2 receivers left, now in motion. Here's the handoff. They fake the handoff. Now the throw. This is Kennedy, left-handed thrower, and downfield for a first down to Powell. So Kennedy, normally a running back, here to start the game, throws it downfield to the starting quarterback, Powell, and it's a gain all the way from the 21 into East territory at the 38. It's a pickup of 21 yards.
Well, he answered my question on how he's going to play running back. He's going to play some quarterback, too. Obviously, they've got different sets that they're running with this group, and when you got athletes that are this dynamic, you can move Kennedy around and put him at that quarterback position where he can throw a little bit.
I'm surprised we don't see that more often since we've covered 8-man games. More of the trickery and the flipping, the passes back and forth, flea flickers and end around throwback passes, because you got so many kids, like multiple quarterbacks, of course, on each of these teams. First down and 10 at the 38 in East territory for the D1 West. They fake it to Kennedy. Powell keeps it, bounces to the outside, and now taken down near the 35-yard line as the Division I East once again getting some penetration. JT Yunker, all-state linebacker from South Haven, also there Devin Freeman, Caden Vanderpool, and Maverick LaRock of Osborne.
Coming out in a double wing set that time. I think there's a team that plays on this field that might run the double wing quite a bit. 8-man All-Stars. You don't see it in 8-man a lot, but you're seeing it here today.
So it is second down and 8 after the 2-yard pickup. Here's Powell. He fakes it. He keeps it running right now. Pitches it at the last moment. And he has his man on the pitch. It is a first down past the 25 down to the 23-yard line as the pitch play goes to Tanner Tranbarger of Maxville. It's another first down for the West. They're going to mark it inside the 23 down to the 22. It's a pickup of 14.
Well, I've been talking so far earlier about how they've been having good contain on defense. Somebody missed the pitch man that time for the Division I East, and Tranbarger got a big gain out of it. Just a little bit of miscommunication that time defensively for the East, but nice play for the West.
So it is first down and 10 at the 22 for the West. Once again in the gun, and now, whoa, here comes Yunker. Yunker shot through a little prematurely there through the middle of the line. But there might have been some movement on the West. No. It was just Yunker jumping the gun. We saw Yunker yesterday with his dance moves. And Yunker's dance moves yesterday, he was dancing to Will Smith's Getting Jiggy with it. And we've got video to prove that he did that. It's on our Facebook page at KD Country 94. So a 5-yard penalty on the East as Junker kind of slipped there as he went through the line of scrimmage. It's pretty obvious it was on him. First down and 5 from the 17 for the West. Here's the little end around for the wingback position. It goes to Kennedy, makes a nice move, but a great open field tackle applied there by Vanderpool. Also there on the play was Mills of Sedan. So a short pickup, a gain of 2. Looked like it was going to go for more.
9th play of the drive there. West doing a nice job of methodically moving the football down the field here and getting into scoring position here.
6:51 and ticking here in the first quarter. And the West got the ball first. The East won the toss and deferred. West marching down. 2nd down and 2 just inside the 15. Direct snap to the quarterback, Powell of Kiowa County, and he's taken down at the 11-yard line. Making the stop is Junker, and also there was Xavier Jabari of Peabody Burns. Gain of 3.
Looking at the 35-yard line right here, and there is a little bit of grass being chipped up there at the 35, so we'll keep an eye on that probably today as well.
And especially when you have 2 games.
Yeah,
We'll
exactly.
see what it's like from 10 o'clock, and then once we're done with the second game, probably around 3:30 or 4, what the condition of the field will be. But so far it's holding up. 6:24 and ticking. No score, but the West is driving. They have a first down and goal at the 10. They picked up the first down on that last run. Here's a little end around to the wing back again. It goes to Krieger, and Krieger is dropped at the 6, but there is a penalty marker on the play from the side judge. And it's going to go against the West.
Usually in the holding area there. Blocking the back.
Blocking the back on the West. I didn't think officials were supposed to call penalties during All-Star games.
In the All-Star game,
really?
blocking the back, really?
Kind of like there's no crying in baseball. There's no penalty markers in 8-man All-Star game football. There's no ejections, right? Oh, wait a minute. There was one a few years ago. That's right. And speaking of that person, he is right there and gives us the call. He's the white hat, Devin Treaster today. And so the penalty moves them all the way back, the West, to the 22-yard line. So it ends up being a 12-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. The West 2 penalties, 17 yards. They converted a couple of third downs on this drive, but now faced with first and goal at the 22. With about 6 minutes to go, no score. Division II game coming up later this afternoon at 1:30. Our pregame coverage will start at 1 on the 8-man All-Star Game Radio Network. Wade Gershner, Dusty Dinas, Dan Page with you. Scott and Ben Mitchum with the video here today. A double wing set. They fake it one way, fake it again. Here's Powell. He throws over the middle, has a man open, and it is caught inside the 5. Making the catch is Ginther. How about that? Cameron Ginther, number 54, who's the starting nose guard for the D1 West, makes the catch, and it's a pickup all the way down to the 4. A gain of 18, and a couple of fakes carried out by the quarterback, and well, Ginther was wide open. He had to wait on that pass a long time, though, didn't he?
Yeah, his excitement level tells me that he hasn't really caught a lot of footballs in his career at Rawlins County.
He looked it in, that's for sure. Second goal at the 4, and it goes to Powell, and he is in for the touchdown. A quarterback keep on the left side as he broke the tackle of Jabari, and it is a touchdown on the first drive of the game for the D1 West All-Stars. A very impressive drive where it ended up taking 12 plays, and they go 65 yards. And they overcome a first and goal from the 22. So the 4-yard run by Trevor Powell from Kiowa County. Powell with a couple of pass completions for a total of 27 yards. A big one there to Cameron Ginther. So the West will go for 2. Here's the handoff, and it goes to Tranbarger. Cuts back, and he's into the end zone. No backside containment for the D1 East, and the West ends up scoring as Tranbarger with the 2-point conversion. And it is 8-0 D1 West with the early score. Very impressive drive, Dusty. It took almost half of the first quarter.
Yeah, that's what you want, really, if you're the West team. Against a team like the East that we're expecting to be pretty explosive, you want to take as much time as you can, and they're running that power set or the double wing, whichever one they come out in at the time, and taking it right down their throat and taking some time to do it. And that's what you want to do against a dynamic offense, kind of like the counter punches that you're going to see throughout the game. Boy, that was nice improvisation, too, on that 2-point run by Tranbarger, cutting back over the middle and getting back to the backside where there wasn't any help over there.
We have Dan Page on the sidelines. He's going to be talking to some of the players throughout the broadcast today of both the 8-man Division I game and 8-man Division II game. And we'll see if he's got somebody here. See if he's got Devin Freeman, I believe. And let's go down to Dan, and we'll I'll tell you what, Dan, let's hold off here. Let's get the kickoff because we don't want to miss an exciting kickoff here in case there's a big-time return. We've had that happen a few times. We don't want to miss it. Here's the kickoff from the 30 from the West. Back is Kenton Ubelaker. Oh, but it's in the end zone. You know Kenton can take it to the house.
Wish he could bring it back.
All right, let's go down the sideline and Dan Page. Let's see if Devin's going to be able to talk or not. All right, let's go to Dan.
Yeah, thanks, Wade. I'm with Devin Freeman from Rock Hills, a guy that switched to running back halfway through the season this past year, but you're playing defense today. What did Coach tell you about containing Trevor Powell for the West squad?
Just make sure I contain outside and don't let anything get outside. Just turn everything up so I can have the rest of my team help me.
Now, you're fresh off of the Team and End Bowl Golf State Championship. What's it like to all of a sudden put the pads back on?
It's fun. I mean, we focused on golf while it was golf, and we went through, and our team ended up winning it, and now we're back and playing my last football game. So excited. It's pretty exciting.
What are your future plans, Devin?
I'm going to be MDI, medical diagnostic imaging, going to study that. And I'll see if I can, I'll probably walk on for the golf team at Fort Hays after I get my feet set. So.
All right, thanks, Devin. Devin Freeman or Rock Hills playing some defense today. We'll send it back up to you guys.
All right, there's a run by the quarterback, Anthony Hawkins, for the D1 East after a pickup of 6 on the first play with Kenton Ubelaker. It is Hawkins with a first down to the 32, and it's a gain of 11. And one thing about the East squad that we know coming in, Dusty, and I saw them in practice, you saw them in practice, they have offensive weapons galore.
Yeah, they have weapons, and they got a kid in Hawkins who showed that he could run the ball, but I can promise you he can throw the ball very well as well.
So here is Hawkins. He is the quarterback. Split backfield with LaRock and Ubelaker. All Osborne Bulldog backfield. And LaRock, you better wrap up. LaRock bulldozes his way past the 35 and to the 38-yard line. And he picks up about 5, maybe 6 on the play. LaRock, he's going to bring the lumber no matter what. Whether he's playing offense or defense, he's going to bring it. And he picks up 6.
How many times you see that where he's just running a power, basically a dive, and gets 6 yards because nobody can wrap him up right at the point of attack, and he just drags them with him.
Yeah, he ran, and you thought, oh, pick up a 3, and then you look and go, no, it's 6 yards because he gets 3 yards after contact. Offset I. Here is Hawkins, and the give is to the up man, and this is LaRock, and nothing doing. The West is there. Cameron Ginther fired up after making that catch on the last drive. There to make the stop, and also there was Evan Liebel for the West, and number 98 with Connor Howry of Pretty Prairie was there. So nice job by the D1 West.
Yeah, Mark Elward from Solomon was there initially as well. I mean, they had that one sniffed out, and they didn't get beat that time. That was a solid team defense that time from the Division I West doing their jobs.
It's the best of the best. Nothing's going to come easy today. 3rd down and 5 from the 37 for the East. They trail 8-0. 3:40 to go in the first quarter. They fake the handoff the fullback, go to Ubelaker. Ubelaker cuts against the grain, and not much there. He is taken down by 4 red jerseys. In on the stop for the D1 West was Dylan Tiemeyer of Rollins County, and also there was Colton Zink of Central Plains. Howry was in the vicinity as well.
Here's the thing that you always say about speed. If you can contain it and not let it get across the line of scrimmage, it's not going to do the other team much good, and the West is doing a nice job of that here on this play with Kenton Ubelaker.
So it is 4th down and 3 at the 39 near midfield. The East will go for it. Double tight end set out of the I formation. They're going to give it to Ubelaker, and Ubelaker has a first down and then taken down, but he just needed a yard, and he's able to pick up 2, maybe 3, and it's a first down for the East to keep the drive alive. As in on the play again, defensively, Tiemeyer and Elward for the West. Well, that's a pretty good option when you go to a guy, Kenton Ubelaker, that all he did last year was ran for 1,500 yards, 25 touchdowns, had 500 yards receiving, 9 touchdowns. He's going to play in the Shrine Bowl later this summer and part of an undefeated state championship 13-0 Osborne Bulldog squad. And you have LaRock, lead blocker. And here is Ubelaker on the sweep left side, and he's able to pick up good yardage to the 30. It's a gain of 6 as Maverick LaRock leading away. We saw that play a lot this year for Osborne.
Stretching it out and letting Mav take the lead. Kenton comes up hobbling, though, as he comes to the sideline.
Of course, Kenton said he was a little bit tired from state track and field. His dad, of course, Kenny Ubelaker, retiring from track and field, and it was good to see him yesterday at the pep rally downtown Beloit. And now Kenton, hopefully he's okay. But it does look like an ankle injury. So the East, well, when you have somebody go down in an all-star game, you have pretty good quality going in to replace. Split backfield on 2nd and 4 for the East, trailing 8-0 at the West 30. Here's the handoff on a counter play to LaRock, and LaRock is stood up and stopped in the pile. Again, the forward progress, they give him 2 to the 28-yard line. And LaRock with 3 carries for 7 yards thus far. Ubelaker 4 carries for 16. A minute 48 to go in the first quarter, 8-0. The D1 West with the lead.
I had to peek at the clock. East is doing their best West impression right now. Just kind of taking the time off the clock and methodically moving it down the field.
So it is 3rd down and 2 for the East, 4 down territory. And this is Hawkins, the quarterback, and he is pushed back. He meets a wall of resistance, and that wall is led by Colton Zink. You need me on that wall. And Zink able to make the play, number 21 from Central Plains.
It was that Dylan Tiemeyer from Rollins County also came in from his defensive back position and just, removed all doubt that play was not going to go for a first down.
Sometimes it helps when you have one teammate, you got him held up, and you need a little help, and then you got an all-star next to you to fly in there and finish it off. And they're short, I think, by about an inch. We're going to check out the officials' eyesight here. Oh, yeah, I agree.
They got a really good spot there,
yeah,
too.
It was. Yeah, I thought so, too. So it is 4th and inches for the D1 East. Nice crowd on hand here for the 29th annual 8-Man All-Star Games, a D2 game coming up later today, 1:30, our pregame at 1 o'clock on the 8-Man All-Star Game radio network. So 4th down and inches. LaRock is the fullback. Looks like Vanderpool, I think, is the tailback, and Hawkins is going to keep it, and he does have enough for the first down. Got a good push up front from his offensive line, and it helps when you have guys like Xavier Jabari and Colin Berkeley and John Bott. Good size up front. All they needed a few inches, they're able to pick up a full yard.
You read all those numbers for Kenton Ubelaker and Maverick LaRock, and Colin Berkeley is on this offensive line, and he's one of the reasons that they got all those numbers. He's been a solid player for Osborne over the past few years.
He missed 4 games this year, but boy, they were so much better when he was healthy. And Osborne avoided those injuries for the most part this year after 2 years ago being just ravaged by him. Here's Hawkins on a bootleg, keeps it near side, upended and goes down awkwardly at the 20. He gains 5. Tranbarger there to upend him along with a couple of his teammates.
Tanner Tranbarger, probably one of the best athletes that's playing in this game, playing both sides of the ball and doing a nice job there of getting to Hawkins on the run.
Tranbarger, quarterback that threw for 1,100 yards. He ran for 1,100 yards and had 31 touchdowns, 11 touchdown passes, and 20 rushing touchdowns for Maxville. He's going to attend Kansas State University. 2nd down and 5 for the East, moving left to right. Lone setback is LaRock. Hawkins the throw for the first time. He fires on and out. Has Ubelakers back into the ball game, and he has a first down. Taken down on the far side at the 11 by number 11, which is Mason Damares of Solomon. But it is a 9-yard pickup to Kenton Ubelaker.
Steve Schrader, the trainer down here, must have got Kenton taken care of real quick. He's out there looking fine on that play.
How many times do we see that as well? You just get the ball to players out in the perimeter and what they can do in the open field. That will be the final play of the first quarter. With our score, the D1 West 8, the D1 East nothing, but they are driving. They'll have 1st and 10 at 11. We come back in 1 minute. You're listening to the 8-Man All-Star Games on the 8-Man All-Star Game Radio Network.
NCKSSports.com is your home on the web for high school sports involving the North Central Activity Association, Northern Plains League, and other area teams. League and NCKL. This website made possible by these sponsors: Cunningham Telephone and Cable, Catlin's Friendly Apple Market, Farm Bureau Financial Services, Todd Clover Agent, Vector Supply, Brush Art, S&S Drug, Mankato Professional Pharmacy,
You want
Guaranty State Bank,
should I put the
Centers
time
of
of
America, Landmark
the quarter there?
by NCK Tech in Beloit. Check out NCKSSports.com today. Main Street Drug in Osborne is happy to serve Osborne County and beyond. Did you know they have a mailing service and are happy to mail prescriptions to your house or location? Main Street Drug is happy to work with doctors and healthcare professionals from all over North Central Kansas. Whether you live a few miles or more than a few miles from Main Street Drug, you can count on Kayleen and the staff to provide you with the best customer service. That's Main Street Drug in Osborne. Visit or call them today, 346-2136.
Welcome back. Wade Gershner with you. Also, Dusty Dinas and Dan Page on the sidelines. Dan saying that they're looking at Ken Ubelaker's knee, but he looked pretty good there on that pass play before the timeout. So at the end of 1, it is 8-0. The D1 West, the red team with the lead. D1 East only had 2 possessions in that first quarter, and we're still proceeding with that second possession going in the second. This game's going to fly by. our friends from Central Plains are going to be home before lunch. No, I'm just kidding. It won't be that fast. So first down and 10 at the 11 for the East. Hawkins under center. And he fumbles the snap on the exchange from his center bot, and he jumps on top of it. So just a wasted play, but fortunately for the East, not a turnover. And it'll be second down and 10 at the 11. Near disaster for the 8-man-1 East. We talked about the history. The West leads the all-time series since they went to 2 games, 9-4. It was tied 4-4, but the West has won the last 5, and really the last couple haven't even been close.
Yeah. That shutout 2 years ago and a 45-point rule last year.
So second down and 10 at the 11. Ubelaker back out there along with the Rock. Split backfield. Receiver right is Jones at 6'6". He's a nice target. They're going to go for Jones from Mendocino Valley. Back corner of the end zone. Makes the catch. A beautiful toss by Anthony Hawkins. 11-yard touchdown strike to Matt Jones. They isolate him on the outside. One-on-one coverage. And it's an easy pitch and catch for 6.
I'm going to tell you right now, you don't see a fade pass like that in 8-man football very much. I mean, that was delivered where it needed to be for Hawkins to go up and get it, and he reeled it in. It's nice to have a 6'6" target over there.
It's tough to cover when the guy's 6'6", and Dylan Tiemeyer, I think, was over there at 6'1", giving up about 5 inches. So the East will try to tie it on the 2-point try. Here's a counter. LaRock is in. Just got the ball across the goal line before taken down. And so the East comes back and they tie it. So 2 possessions. And we have 2 touchdowns. And usually in 8-man football, it's quick strike offenses. But not today. It's been methodical, as the West had a 12-play drive and the East had a 14-play drive. So we have had 26 plays in this game, just 1 possession each, and both teams with touchdowns and both teams with 2-point conversions. So well done by the offenses. You know, the defenses aren't playing poorly. It's just that they can't get that stop on 3rd or 4th down. Because remember, the East did have the 4th and 3, and then they also had the 4th in inches and able to convert. And now Xavier Jabari, he's a little gimpy trying to walk it off here on the near side, and he's certainly one of the best linemen for the D1 East from Peabody Burns. All right, Dan has somebody on the side there. Let's go down to Dan Page. Dan, you got to turn on your mic.
I'm with Colin Berkeley of Osborne on that last offensive drive. You got to get on there on the line. The West gave you a little bit of frustrations. Tell me about how you're feeling on that drive.
Oh, started off a little slow, but we started clicking there at the end. We'll get better. We're figuring it out now. Just getting used to the new offense.
You guys had an amazing season at Osborne this year, including you personally bouncing back from an injury about halfway through. How are you feeling physically today?
Oh, I'm feeling great. I'm 100% right now. Going good.
What's it like to play in the 8-man All-Star games?
Oh, it's crazy. I mean, all these guys are tremendous athletes, both sides of the ball. It's just going to be a fun day.
What teammate has impressed you the most this week?
JT Yunker. He is the most tremendous athlete on linebacker I've seen. He is crazy quick.
Also helps to have Matt Jones get that touchdown pass for you guys to even things out.
Yes, it does. He's also a tremendous athlete. Everybody's a great athlete.
All right, thanks, Colin. Good luck with the rest of the game today. Back to you, Wade.
All right, thank you, Dan. And here's the handoff as the West with the kick return starting at their 16-yard line. And with the carry for the Division I West was Kobe Lindsay of South Central. And Lindsay able to pick up, to the 19-yard line, so a gain of 3. So it'll be second down and 7 with 10:50 to go here in the first quarter. 8-8 tie. Second quarter, excuse me. Mitchell Johnson brings him up to the line of scrimmage. He's a center. Out of the shotgun is a quarterback, Powell, and now we have a timeout. The West not sure exactly what they wanted to run there, or had some confusion on the play. And it's one of the challenges when you have 5 or 6 practices during the week is the terminology. Some of the plays are very similar, or the same actually, but the terminology. And I heard one of the Osborne players talking the other night at practice that, so what's different? Was the offense different? No, offense is the same. It's just that there's a lot longer terminology than what we used to do. And Coach Tiernan was there. I said, okay, Coach, what kind of terminology did you have? He goes, well, we called the one play 24. It's short and sweet. Whereas here it's 24, right, left, hook, ladder, whatever. You make up a whole bunch of words. So the terminology is a little bit different, but many of the plays are pretty much the same. And that's the challenge for the coaching staff, is trying to figure out in a short period of time, Dusty, what player will excel at what position in these 8-man all-star games, and then for what kids can handle that terminology and to run the offense at quarterback, running back, whatever.
Yeah, in my experiences so far in the past with these things, most coaches are comfortable with pretty much all 20 guys they have on their team. They're guys that are here for a reason, and most of them are pretty smart and being able to pick up things pretty quick.
Yeah, these kids, is like Romney Runyon, head coach of the East, said the other day, he goes, there's no such thing as a dumb jock. You got to be smart to play football and do the different things that we try to run. And this is just at the 8-man all-star game level. Here's Powell. He spins, turns, and is met. There's J.T. Yunker. Will Cullen just said he's a tremendous athlete and very quick. J.T. Yunker getting jiggy with it. That's because he danced just at the pep rally. He makes the stop. No gain on the play on Powell.
Yeah, Yunker, we saw it a little bit there in the first quarter when he was a little excited defensively and jumped across the line and showed his athleticism even though the ball wasn't snapped. But right there, that's a great play from Yunker.
10 minutes to go in the second quarter. It's the West and the East Division I All-Stars tied at 8 apiece. All the records, if you're curious about records, 8-man All-Star Game history, available, 8manallstars.com. Most points ever scored in an 8-man All-Star Game was 74. And now the West having some more problems on offense, and they burn yet another timeout. So perhaps that'll give us a chance to, at some point here, get another person, another player, and talk to Dan Page, or perhaps we'll get a few more later on during the broadcast. Big thanks to all of our sponsors made the broadcast possible here today on KD Country 94. Big thanks again to KXKU, affiliate out of Hutchinson for the first game, and then we'll be joined by them and, of course, ourselves, KD Country 94 Downs and Beloit, and KNDY out of Marysville for the second game later today across the 8-man All-Star Game Radio Network. Once again, you can be, if you don't know yet, go to 8manallstars.com. There's a link for the live video broadcast. So if you're listening to us right now, you also want to watch and listen to us same time and see what's going on if you couldn't make it to the game. Ben and Scott Mitchum have provided the live internet video stream, and I'm telling you, it looks pretty cool. Graphics and everything. Isn't it neat?
I saw him pop up the flag button earlier. I was like, that's awesome right there.
Yeah, they get the score at the bottom, and I mean, it's good stuff. We appreciate him coming up. So it is 3rd down and 7 at the 19 for the D1 West, moving left to right. 2 receivers wide to the right, including Lindsey. Back to throw. This is Tranbarger. He's going to keep it, and he has some real estate. Lots of room to roam. Gets a nice block, and then a great tackle made. Well, that was a wonderful play made by the East Zane Mills. Well, that could have gone a lot further. Tranbarger with a big-time pickup, a first down all the way from the 19. They're going to mark him down at the 34, gain of 15 for Tranbarger.
Yeah, it played defensively, even though it was a gain of 15 for Tranbarger. Mills made a great play right there. He got blocked well by Kennedy and then bounced right off of that and made the tackle almost all in the same move. Kennedy was there and had a good block on him that you mentioned, and then Mills was able to shake it off. He really wasn't happy about the play at the end, but still a nice play from Mills defensively.
They're having a problem with the shoe, and they might have to burn a 3rd timeout. They've already burned 2, and they have the 1 left. We'll see. And Coach Dold over there, the Little River Redskins, of course, have had a lot of success over the years in football. He was a coach under Shane Cordell, and now the head coach the last 4 years. You got C.T. Young, who, of course, has been at the 8-man All-Star Games multiple times, and is actually Clint Young and his brother, C.T. Of course, Pretty Prairie has been here multiple times as well. 1st and 10 at the 34 for the West. And the snap goes behind the quarterback, Tranbarger. He picks it up and recovers, and Tranbarger makes something out of nothing, gets past the original line of scrimmage and drilled at the 37. Now, late flag coming in, perhaps a late hit by Caleb Danoon of Yates Center. He made the tackle on the far side near the west bench. But that was a nice play by Tranbarger. Just do something with it.
What I said a little bit ago, that Tranbarger is probably one of the best athletes playing in this game. Well, he proved it right there. Man, he got out there quick and did the job there. And we do have, I think it's taunting personal foul is what they called.
I hope we don't eject anyone.
Yeah, no kidding.
That wouldn't be good. We can do those things to officials when we know them personally. No, we don't normally do this. I hope you guys know that. We don't usually mess with officials' emotions. It's usually the fans' emotions that maybe mess with the officials' emotions. So the personal foul or unsportsmanlike penalty as the East team, Coach Runyon asking DT Devin Treaster, the white hat referee, what happened. They're both smiling about it, so it's okay. Coach is not going to be thrown out, I don't think. So here's the penalty. And that tacks on. So Tranbarger, it looked like a disaster, Dusty.
Yeah.
He's going to lose a whole bunch of yards. He ends up picking up a couple, and then the personal foul after it moves it all the way down to the east 28-yard line, the West in business. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. It's Tranbarger. Quarterback keep up the middle, the quarterback draw. Tranbarger cuts back. There's a flag. This one's coming back as Tranbarger passed the 20 down to the 16. A 12-yard pickup, but I think they got a hold. Yep, holding, and that'll bring the play back. When you see the back judge throw the flag from that position on a play with the runners going up the middle, it's usually holding.
Yeah, it's in the open field like that, too, where it's pretty easy to see, and they got him with that one. But Tranbarger, again, showing his athleticism on that play, but, again, a little bit of a disadvantage to the east on that play.
So now, move them all the way back to midfield at the 40. 8-8 tie. Both teams have had one possession. Both teams have scored, and both teams have converted on their 2-point attempt. Defenses have bent and eventually given up scores, but the offenses really haven't had a lot of huge, big plays. And now back to throw is Kennedy, the southpaw from Hoxie. Surveys, flushed, rolls left, comes back, and is met and dropped on the far side. JT Yunker over there. Man, oh man, Yunker is very fast. Colin Berkeley should be a color analyst, and he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, he knows what he's talking about. The team defense from the east was solid right there because Kobe Lindsey from South Central took somebody out at about the 39-yard line, right around where the play was finished there. But nice pursuit as a team from the east defense because Lindsey had a great block there for the west.
It's always scary when a quarterback has that much time to look downfield and scramble. And in 8-man football, you see many times where that breaks for a big play. Second down and about 20 now at the 38. Here's Kennedy to throw. He fires. Nice tight spiral down the left side, and it is knocked away by Daynoon. Yates Center with the coverage near the goal line as they're trying to go to Tranbarger for Maxville, and the flag is thrown. Pass interference on the east. Well, that pass thrown just a little bit further and a little bit further to the outside, I think that would have been a touchdown. But still, a tight spiral by Kennedy.
Yeah, good play there, and Danu never really looked back and made some contact there, and that's why he gets called for the penalty. He had good coverage as far as staying with Tranbarger, but just never looked back and made a little contact, and they're going to get 15 yards out of that.
I think that's one of the toughest jobs in football is covering one-on-one against a guy, especially that's taller than you, and you don't know exactly where the ball is and when to turn. It's all about timing.
Yeah, I mean, you just think about how your bodies are moving, too. I mean, he's going straight forward with all that athleticism and speed, and Danu's got to try to figure out when to turn around to see the ball, and it's hard to do when you got to stay up with a guy like that.
Remember, that's not an automatic first down, but it does move him 15 yards closer. Second down and 5. With the carry for the West is Alex Krieger of Hodgman County. And he's able to pick up 3, maybe 4 to the 19. And so now you have a situation for the West with a short yardage attempt. With 7:40 to go here in the second quarter, we're tied at 8. Third down and 2 at the 19. Almost about a yard now if you look at it.
Elijah Smith doing some good things on the East defense there. He's the one that made the stop there from West Elk. And East defense is going to have to lock up here and try to make a stop here.
West Elk went 9-1, their best record ever. Chris Haig, one of the assistant coaches, the head coach of West Elk here today. So third down and a long one from the 19 for the West. Here's Kennedy. He wants to keep it, cuts back, and whoa, what a play! Shooting through, making a tackle is the man of the hour, JT Yunker of South Haven, showing why he's an all-state linebacker as he shoots free, and it's a loss of a yard all the way back to the 20. What a play by JT.
Colin Berkeley's down here cheering him on again. Man, he wasn't wrong. As we keep going on, we're seeing that. JT Yunker from South Haven, that middle linebacker, just has a nose for the football, and he's got a motor behind him, too.
That's what you want from a linebacker. He's also the cheerleader. He's been pumping up the crowd here on the near side.
And him and Dallas Thompson have been doing a really good job of that.
Here we go. 4th down and 2 for the West. High snap, it's dropped, Tranbarger gets it, it is taken down by the shoestrings, making the stop for the East, Elijah Smith of West Elk, but the bad snap caused the problems, and the D1 East defense gets the first stop of the day in the 8-man Division I All-Star game. Turnover on downs. 6:25 to go, second quarter, 8-8 tie.
Well, things were looking real good for the West there after the pass interference penalty, but East buckled up like I said they needed to, and really did a nice job defensively making sure that they couldn't get that. Then a little bit of a struggle with the snap.
So first down and 10 at the 28-yard line. Here we go to Jubelaker on the near side, and he is taken down, sandwiched by two Division I West All-Stars. Elward is there along with Terhune of Kiowa County, and Elward of Solomon, and also over there defensively was DeMars of Solomon. So after the pickup of, we'll give them 2, maybe 3, it'll be second down, and they have 8 on the scoreboard. Looks more like 7 right now. You're still waiting for that big play.
Yeah.
You know it's going to happen at some point. This second down and 7 at the 31. For the East, split backfield. They give it to the big bruising fullback, LaRocca of Osborne. Moves the pile forward like he normally does to the 34. It's a gain of 3, brings up 3rd and 4.
Another classic Maverick LaRocque run there. He just lowers the shoulder and gets the yards he needs, about 4, and just continue to do what he does best.
One of the best 8-man games I have ever witnessed was this year in the first round of the playoffs. Number 1 versus number 2 in the state. Madison and Osborne over in Osborne. And it's interesting to see these kids now on the same team after a great, great game between those two squads to start the playoffs. Third down and 4 at the 34 for the East. Hawkins hands it off to LaRocque, and LaRocque has running room to the outside. 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, and finally brought down at the 10-yard line. Maverick LaRocque with a gain of 36 yards. We said that somebody was going to break a big one, and there it is.
Speed is deceptive with LaRocque, too, because he's faster than what he looks as well, and he's on one of them relay teams for Osborne and track, and definitely a lot faster than what people would expect to see from him. And in the state championship game, that play probably went for a touchdown. But again, all-stars on the West team that have speed as well are able to catch him that time.
So officially a gain of 35. They mark it at 11. First and 10 for the D1 East, trying to take their first lead of the game, trying to win for the first time since 08. Give it to Jubelaker, and Jubelaker not much there. Elward of Solomon with the initial hit. A gain of 1 for Kenton Jubelaker. You talk about LaRocque, he's faster than you think. Well, sometimes when you have bigger guys, they can eat up more real estate with those strides. They're bigger. The smaller guys look maybe faster because they take more steps, but sometimes it's maybe not what you think. Guy's faster as a big guy like LaRocque. Maverick at 6'2", 200 pounds. He and Jubelaker are going to Fort Hays State to play football. Also, Trevor Powell is going to play football along with Kobe Lindsay for the West. So 4 players in this game that are going to Fort Hays State to play football. From the 9-yard line on second down, keeping it after the fake is Hawkins. Hawkins has room to the outside and brought down near the 2. They're going to mark him now closer to the 3. Gain of 7 for Hawkins, just trying to deceive the defense on that one.
That was a nice little play from the East right there. You pick up 7 and you do a little double fake and get around that edge. And Hawkins ran that play really well. It was a good job of hiding the football on his hip there and picks up some good yardage.
They'll mark it at the 4. 3rd and 3. 4:02 to play. First half. 8-man Division I All-Star games. East versus the West. We're tied at 8, but the East is knocking on the door. Just the second possession of the game for the East. The West has had 2 possessions as well. I formation. Vanderpool from Mendocino Valley is the tailback. They're going to give it to LaRocque, the fullback. LaRocque breaks the first contact like he normally does, and now push back at the 1. It's a gain of 3. Should be very close to a first down. Remember, they could have gotten the first down without getting the touchdown, and they are going to call that a first down. So now they'll have 4 cracks at it from the 1, and I like the East chances when you have Jubelaker and LaRocque in the backfield.
Yeah, I like it if you just have LaRocque. So,
yes.
I mean, that's just being honest. I mean, the 1-yard line is going to be real tough for the West here.
Let's see who they give it to. LaRocque is the lead back. Vanderpool is the tailback. East trying to take the lead. They're going to be Hawkins. They're going to keep it, and Hawkins is in with the quarterback sneak. So Anthony Hawkins from South Haven, all-league performer at quarterback and on defense, going to Hutchinson Community College in the fall. He scores the touchdown. Hawkins, 6 carries, 27 yards, and the 1-yard plunge. And the East now leads 14-8, pending the 2-point try. Just amazing how nice it is right now weather-wise.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just a picture-perfect day for the 8-man All-Star games after a lot of concern with the weather earlier in the week. So here's the two-point try. Split backfield. They give it to LaRock. LaRock with a stiff arm trying to get to the corner. And no, did not get there. Two-point conversion denied. Evan Liebel, nice pursuit. Also there was Kennedy. And that is the two-point try. No good. So it is now 14-8. East with the lead with 3:37 to play in the second quarter. And we'll see if Dan will be able to grab somebody here in just a moment. Talk to on the sideline. Big thanks to our studio engineer back in Glen Elder, manning the controls and the board, and that is Jolie Sullivan. We appreciate everything that she does for us throughout the football season here on KD Country 94. And let's see if we can get Dan. Let's go down to the field and Dan Page.
Yeah, thanks, Wade. I'm with Anthony Hawkins, quarterback for the East team from South Haven, getting that touchdown run. How did that feel for you guys on that drive?
Felt pretty good to answer like that.
Dry blood on your face. Is it that intense of a game out there?
Yeah, it's getting pretty tough. It's getting pretty tough out there.
What do you this week? What have you felt about the whole team practicing leading up to today's game?
I felt like we came together as a unit, and got our plays down quick, allowed us to execute better.
What's something you learned for the first time this week from Coach Runyon?
It's not always about how good you are, but it's how hard you work.
All right, thanks a lot, Anthony. Good luck with the rest of the game. Back to you, Wade.
All right, thanks, Tanner Tranbarger. Oh, wow. Tanner slips and falls there at about the 13-yard line and then kind of got bumped and twisted awkwardly to the turf, but no flag. So Anthony Hawkins, a little bit out of breath. Always fun when we go down the sideline. Hey, how you guys doing? You got to remember, they haven't played football for a few months. So they might be a little bit out of shape. And, of course, on top of that, you're playing against the best of the best. So first down and 10 at the 12 for the D1 West, now trailing for the first time 14-8.
I remember one of the first years we did this, and we went down, and there's a big lineman that just got done blocking a long rushing drive. And we asked him what the favorite part of the week was, and he's like, the food. I was like, well, maybe that's why you're
That was funny. What was the best part of the week? The food? Food was really good. Okay. Now they move it to the 13-yard line. First 10 to 13. Here's number 13, Kennedy. Fakes the toss, keeps it to the near side, and is taken down rudely after about a 5-yard pickup. Chase Kennedy, very patient runner, Dusty. I've seen that multiple times. He allows his blocks and the blocking to develop downfield.
Yeah, no doubt. And he's obviously had a lot of experience there and one of the better running quarterbacks in the state over the past couple of years.
It's a pickup of 9 for Kennedy. Second down and 1 at the 22. 3 minutes to go. Let's see if the West can put together a drive and tie this game up. Here's Kennedy from Hoxie. Bounces it to the outside, near sideline, and another good pickup past the 30 down to the 32. And that's close to another first down. It is a first down for Kennedy. So perhaps the West has found something, Dusty, with Kennedy at quarterback.
Yeah, and Kennedy playing quarterback. As I said, I mean, he's accustomed to that position. I was interested to see what it was going to be like early in the game with Powell running that quarterback. They've kind of come out of that power set and really started to at least spread it out just a little bit. I'm not saying they're running a spread offense, but they're mixing things up a little bit here defensively, but then they're going to change it right back up now.
It's a Hoxie combination at center and quarterback. Johnson the snap at the Kennedy, and it didn't work out well. Right through the hands of Kennedy. He's able to pop on top of the football. Luckily, as there was Elijah Smith fall on top of him, and also there on the play was Caleb Giolino of Clifton Clyde. Of course, remember Clifton Clyde nearly derailed Osborne's chances at a state championship in the rematch at Clifton Clyde. In fact, led with about 5 minutes to go in what was a tremendous football game as well. So the penalty, a chop block, called on the West. That'll make it a lot more difficult. 2:28 to go in the second quarter. The East leading in this Division I All-Star game by a score of 14-8. They've scored 14 unanswered.
Going to add insult to injury there on that one. The bad snap, and then you get a chop block to add to it. So going to make it tough for the West here on this drive. But you've seen 2 snaps like that now from the West, and I don't know, maybe the center, Mitchell Johnson, ball might be getting a little bit wet still from some of the precipitation. You don't know what's going on with that, but it's definitely something to watch as the game goes on.
So ends up losing 17 yards after all of that, after the bad snap and the penalty. First and 25. They give it to Tranbarger. Now he's going to the throwback pass to the quarterback, Kennedy. He makes it at the midfield stripe 40 and taken down on the far sideline by Vanderpool. at the 33-yard line. 27-yard pickup on 1st and 25. That works out.
It's a good way to get those yards back, I guess. Quick pass back to the quarterback, and the defense from the east was confused the whole way. I mean, they went with Trambarger to the right, and he went back left to the quarterback, Kennedy, and that play was there for big gain, and you could see it the whole time.
So Coach Dold and his staff pulling out all the stops here after the big penalty. Moved them back. They're faced with 1st and forever, and they pick it up all in one play. So 1st and 10 at the 33 in East Territory are the West. Kennedy hands it off. This is Krieger of Hodgman County. Taken down. What a play. Once again, guess who? I'll give you 3 guesses. First 2 don't count. Number 4, J.T. Junker of South Haven. Man, he's living in the backfield. It's a loss back to the 35. Loss of 2.
And that's a guy that came from behind to make the play. It wasn't like the guy was running right to him. He caught him from behind, and Krieger's a very good athlete as well from Hodgman County. He played on the Longhorns state runner-up team this year. And well, I tell you what, another great play by Junker. And if you're not seeing this, it's hard to even explain how good he is athletically.
Because remember, he's beating all-stars on the offensive line for the West. No, I can just imagine what he did during the regular season. He was all-state.
Yeah.
Well-deserved. So 2nd down and close to 12 to go at the 35 for the West. Minute to play before halftime. Here's Kennedy, shakes one tackler, gets away from another, spins out of a 3rd, spins out of a 4th, and continues to drive those legs and moves the ball all the way down to the 22-yard line. That's a gain of 12 by Kennedy. Finally brought down by Biggerstaff of Clifton Clive, but not before Kennedy broke 4 tackles. And Kennedy's not particularly a big kid at 5'9", 150, but he's apparently pretty strong.
Yeah, that was one of the best individual efforts I think I've ever seen on an 8-man field. He kept just bouncing right off of them and peeling off tackles, and what looked like was probably going to be about 3 or 4 yards ends up being 12.
All right, so the West, remember, they burned 2 timeouts earlier, so they only have 1 remaining. 40 seconds to play in the first half, and the West taking a long time in the huddle right now. They need to hurry up. Hey, during halftime, we'll go to the sideline with Dan Page. He'll be talking to one of the coaches at halftime, get their thoughts. And now, after all of that, the West running out of time had to call a timeout. So they burned about 20 seconds off the clock. Then they did have to use their final timeout. And on top of that, they never ran a play. But sometimes that happens. Some confusion when you're changing quarterbacks. We've seen 3 different quarterbacks for the West already in the first half. And we see that a lot too, Dusty, throughout the years, is that you might have a guy that starts at quarterback. And at the end of the game, he's a wide receiver. And some guy that started at tight end or a running back is the quarterback. You just kind of mix and match and go with whatever works. And you have lots of options as a coach. And every time I talk to a coach during the week, what's the most difficult thing to do as a coach? They say, figure out what position to play, because a lot of these kids can play any position on the field if you put them there.
Yeah. And that's always probably the toughest job, I would think, for the coach, is to say, hey, I've got this guy right here that I could probably play at quarterback, and he might be one of the best players on this team at quarterback, but he's better at linebacker. So I'm going to have to play him at linebacker because I want our defense to be solid to be able to stop this all-star team we're playing on the other side. So it's difficult, but it's probably a nice problem to have. I mean, you're not going to complain about having all those athletes at all, but it is probably difficult to figure out where to put everybody when they're so good at multiple positions, because they have to be. This is 8-man football, and they're used to playing both ways.
You know, I thought Dan was a tall guy, but he's actually short. I barely can see him behind the West guys. Those West guys are tall. First down and 10 at the 22. No timeouts remaining. Here's Kennedy to throw for the West. The lefty, throwback pass. That could be picked off. It is! It is picked off by Zay Mills of Sedan, and that'll end the threat at the 15-yard line. Well, that play took a long time to develop, and the ball hung up on the air, and then when you're throwing it all the way back across the green, across the field, if you don't have some zip on it, it's up for grabs. And in an all-star game, that will be picked, and it was.
Yeah, I'm actually, to be honest, surprised that there haven't been more of those that have been picked, because there have been, even on, but basically for the West, when Powell was throwing even in the first quarter, that some of those have kind of been ducks, and nice coverage by Mills that time, and made sure that wasn't going to be caught by anybody from the West.
All right, stay tuned for a halftime interview. We'll talk to one of the coaches here at halftime. 20 seconds to go. Of course, 8-man football, you can strike at any point in time, and this guy can do it. It's Ubelaker, but great defensive play made again. Elward of Solomon, the gorilla, shoots through and makes the tackle on Ubelaker. And no gain on the play, and that didn't happen very much during the season, and that will be the final play of a very fast-moving first half. It is the Division I East All-Stars trying to win for the first time since 2008. They lead the West All-Stars by a score of 14-8. trail 8-0 early, and now 14-8. The East out in front. A 4-yard touchdown run by Trevor Powell West got him on the board. 2-point conversion by Tranbarger. And then it was the 11-yard touchdown pass to Matt Jones. Let's go to the sideline and Dan Page.
Hey, thanks, Wade. I'm with Coach Paul Dole from Little River, the West squad. 14-8 at half. The East is up by 1 touchdown. What's been difficult for your team in this first half?
Oh, it's just been a hard-fought ball game on both sides of the ball. Two evenly matched teams. It's just going to come down to who makes the least mistakes. We made a few mistakes when we shouldn't have. I think that's what cost us right then.
What are you going to tell your team at a halftime?
Just keep the faith and stay with everybody, and we got to stick on our blocks and do what we've practiced all week and what they know how to do. They're very good players, and so we're right in this ball game. It's anybody's ball game at this point.
What's one player that's impressed you so far today?
Well, Trevor Powell was having a great game. He's out with a head injury at this point. He did a great job. Kobe Lindsay has done a tremendous job. Tranbarger's had some really hard runs. I don't know that any one person has stood out. We got a whole team of all-stars.
Coach, I appreciate it. Good luck in the second half. Thank you. That's Coach Paul Dole, head coach of the West squad from Little River. Back to you guys up in the box.
All right, thanks, Dan. We are at halftime, and it is 14-8. Our score. Let's go through the scoring summary, and then we'll take a timeout here, as it was Trevor Powell before he had the head injury, a 4-yard touchdown run. That was a 12-play drive, 5:15 to go first quarter. It was the West with the lead 8-0 after the 2-point conversion by Tranbarger of Maxville, but the East would come right back, a 14-play, 65-yard drive. Early in the second quarter, they convert on a touchdown pass from Hawkins to Matt Jones. From 11 yards out, LaRock with a 2-point conversion tied it. Then after a stop by the East defense, the East gets the ball, and they go 7 plays, 52 yards, and the touchdown run on the quarterback sneak by Anthony Hawkins. 2-point conversion failed, and that's where we are at the break. A battle of two evenly matched teams, as Coach Dole mentioned. 14-8. The East All-Stars with the lead at halftime in this Division I game over the West. Well, when we come back during our halftime show, we will hear from Heather Hartman. She is the Community Development Director for Mitchell County and the City of Beloit. We will hear from Heather coming up next on the 8-Man All-Star Game Radio Network, back in 2 minutes.
The Schooler Company in Downs can handle your grain in a timely fashion and tailors risk management solutions for their customers by buying, selling, storing, and transporting grain and ingredients for use in feed, food, and renewable fuel markets worldwide. Call them with any questions you may have at 454-3513. The Schooler Company in Downs, wishing all of the 8-Man All-Star Game participants best of luck in today's games. Main Street Drug in Osborne is happy to serve Osborne County and beyond. Did you know they have a mailing service and are happy to mail prescriptions to your house or location? Main Street Drug is happy to work with doctors and healthcare professionals from all over North Central Kansas. Whether you live a few miles or more than a few miles from Main Street Drug, you can count on Kayleen and the staff to provide you with the best in customer service. That's Main Street Drug in Osborne. Visit or call them today, 346-2136.
Yeah, might just need to go a little quicker on the interviews.
Case IH Magnum Series tractors have set the standard for row crop productivity on North American farms for more than 20 years. Dual Implement offers you 9 Magnum Series tractors with up to 310 PTO horsepower, including the option of a power shift or Case IH CVT transmission that raises the bar in mechanical efficiency and ease of operation. Largest cab in the industry, the leading fuel-efficient powertrain, and the latest precision farming capabilities. See the Magnum Series tractors dual implement on Highway 14 and Dual.
As a parent, we all enjoy watching our kids participate in sports. Sometimes, however, athletic competition can take up physical focus, hold muscles, lower back pain, tense nerves, and a long list of other ailments. That's where quality chiropractic care can make a difference. I suggest Dr. T.J. Owen at Meyer Chiropractic Clinic, PA, in Beloit. We can even help that weekend warrior at your house when he overdoes it. We can't fix his golf swing, but we can help make it pain-free. Meyer Chiropractic Clinic, PA, 738-5356.
Hi, I'm Heather Hartman, and I'm the Community Development Director for Mitchell County.
Hi, I'm Heather Hartman, and I'm the Community Development Director for Mitchell County in the City of Beloit. I want to thank Katy Country 94 and the 8-Man All-Star Game Radio Network for giving me a minute to do an update on what's happening in our community in North Central Kansas. We are so very fortunate to be hosting the 29th annual 8-Man All-Star Game. North Central Kansas is proud to be home of the games. We enjoy showcasing all the great things we have to offer. We are a progressive community, and we are always looking towards the future to be ready for growth and development. 2014 has been a busy year for our communities. Here are a few of our highlights. Mitchell County has a tax rebate incentive program for new or rehab projects called the Neighborhood Revitalization Program. We are rapidly approaching the completion of our capital real estate improvements in Mitchell County of over $50 million. This is truly phenomenal considering these projects are less than 10 years old. These capital improvements have been made across the county in various ways, and they will have long-term positive impact on our area. One of our recent highlights was to be awarded the Community Development Block Grant for the housing rehab in the city of Beloit. We were awarded a $400,000 grant for housing rehab and demolition. One of the commonalities in most rural areas is the lack of housing. This grant will start to address our housing shortage. We've also seen several business expansions across the entire county. It is great to see businesses invest so much into an expansion in our area. It is nice when a business sees something that we already know. Our North Central Kansas community is one of the best places to live, to work, and to play. Speaking of playing, not only do we have the beautiful Wakanda Lake in our backyard, Wakanda Lake in Glen Elder is considered by many to be one of the best overall fishing lakes in Kansas and also a premier hunting location. But we also just kicked off the 3rd season of our new water park located in Chautauqua Park in Beloit. This was a pool designed for all ages, from the zero-depth entry to various water slides and a lazy river. It is fun for all. And living here just got a little easier. The city of Beloit is in the process of developing a large portion of our North Campus. This is looking to be one of the premier locations of our area. North Campus includes a newly designed walking trail, a community garden spot, a recently moved and renovated library, a daycare facility, and now a new housing development. So, we really do feel like we are the perfect place to live, work, and play. Come to North Central Kansas and check out Mitchell County. We would love to have you.
It's your locally owned bank. Farmers Bank encourages area residents to stop in and see loan officers Don Coates, Lynette Welcome, and Jim Eilert in Osborne, and Rudy Hopperer in Luray. Farmers Bank of Osborne, serving the area community since 1901, and now offering online banking and online bill pay. Proud to be longtime supporters of the area sports teams. The Farmers Bank of Osborne with branches in Gaylord and Luray, member FDIC.
Eli, if you were to describe Dad in one word, what would you say?
Is this a trick question?
Eli.
Okay, I describe him as special.
How about you, Avery?
I would describe him as amazing.
Join SNS Drug again this year for our Describe Your Dad in Just One Word Facebook giveaway. Check out SNS Drug's Facebook page to have a chance to describe your dad with just one word to enter him in a drawing for a special Father's Day gift basket that will be delivered to him on Friday, June 13th.
Happy Father's Day from SNS Drug and SNS Home Health in downtown Beloit.
Farm Bureau Financial Services makes it simple to protect the important things like your home, cars, family, and future. Contact Farm Bureau agent Todd Clover in Beloit today to see how simple insurance can be. Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Property and Casualty Insurance Company. Farm Bureau Financial Services, Todd Clover agent, is proud to support participants in this year's 8-man All-Star Games at Trojan Field in Beloit.
The Brush Art Corporation of Downs, Kansas would like to wish all of the 8-man All-Star Game participants the best luck in today's games in Beloit. And they're proud to support all area athletes and athletic programs. At Brush Art Corporation, they pride themselves on long-term personalized customer relationships with a variety of companies. Where do great brands turn to find solutions that work? Brush Art Corporation of Downs, Kansas. Proud to be a sponsor of today's 8-man All-Star Game.
And welcome back to Trojan Field here in Beloit. Wade Gerstner and Dusty Dias, Dan Page with you. Ben and Scott Mitchum doing the video at 8manallstars.com. The statistics in the first half was the 8-man Division I East leading 14-8. The East is leading the West 14-8. here at halftime. And let's go through the stats once again. Ken Ublake of the East with 7 carries for 20 yards. Anthony Hawkins, 6 carries for 27 and a touchdown. Maverick Rock, 6 carries for 48 yards. Anthony Hawkins throwing the ball 2 out of 2 for 20 yards. 1 completion of 9 to Kent Ublaker, 1 of 11 and a touchdown to Matt Jones. And for the West, Alex Krieger, 3 carries for 4 yards. Tanner Tranbarger, 5 for 22. Trevor Powell, 5 for 11 and a touchdown run. Chase Kennedy, 8 carries for 23 yards. And Kobe Lindsay, a carry for 3. Throwing the football, 3 different quarterbacks with completions. Trevor Powell, 2 out of 2 for 27 yards. Chase Kennedy, 1 of 2 for 21 yards and interception. And Tanner Tranbarger, a pass completion of 27 yards to Chase Kennedy. Cameron Ginther, a catch for 18. Trevor Powell, a catch for 21. And Trevor Smyers of Little River, a reception for 9 yards. Total yardage in the first half for the West, 138. The East, 115. The East, 95 rushing yards to the West, 63. Passing yardage, 75 for the West, just 20 for the East. Penalties, 4 for 37 for the West, and the East with 2 penalties for 20 yards. So it brings us to our halftime score, which is 14-8 in favor of the East squad. And let's go down on the field, and Dan Page with a special guest here, coach with the East team. If he wants to go, that would be great.
Yeah, thanks, Wade. I'm Coach with Romney Runyon from Central Burden, head coach of the East squad, and coach you up 14-8 at halftime. Rather, you guys made some defensive adjustments there. You had trouble stopping Powell, and now the defense came around in the second quarter. What are your feelings on that?
Well, they made a couple mistakes that they ended up capitalizing on, actually, in terms of, us with some missed assignments in the secondary. They had some big, third and long situations that they got first downs upon. But we've tried to remedy that at halftime, and we're going to get the ball with the kickoff, and hopefully we can have a long, sustained drive and pound the ball and then come down and spread this lead out a little bit.
Overall, what do you think the team needs to improve on the most in the second half?
Just maybe some of those adjustments in terms of the secondary. I think eventually our power strength is going to wear them down, which is, hopefully what's going to happen. They've started to rely on more of a little finesse game, and hopefully we can go ahead and maybe get some stops in the backfield as a result.
Just through the first half, both on your squad and the other squad, who's impressed you the most player-wise?
LaRock, especially running the ball where there hasn't been holes. He's made his own hole. Hawkins threw the ball very well the couple times that we needed it. And, just overall our offensive line has executed the scheme pretty well. When they've stunted up front defensively, we went ahead and made the adjustment mid-play and been able to pop some things. So I am happy with that.
All right, Coach, best of luck in the second half. Again, that was Coach Romney Runyon, the head coach of the East squad, 14-8. The East lead the West at halftime.
All right, thank you very much, Dan. And temperature about 68 degrees, and the field looks like it's holding up so far, but we still have another half, and then we have a whole other game coming up later today, 1:30, 1 o'clock pregame. It'll be an 8-man Division II All-Star game between the green and the gold, Division II West and Division II East All-Stars. We're at halftime of the Division I All-Star game here on the 8-man All-Star Game Radio Network, and it is 14-8, the 8-man Division I East with the lead over the 8-man Division I West. Back with the second half in 2 minutes. This is the 8-man All-Star Game Radio Network.
Since 1945, Sunflower has been the first and only choice for tillage tools. The best competitors can do is try to copy Sunflower. With BT corn and corn on corn, you better have a disc harrow that'll perform acre after acre. That's why you need Sunflower. Sunflower discs are America's #1 selling disc line. BT corn, corn on corn, Sunflower saw it coming. And Sunflower is ready. Get the original. There is only one. Sunflower.
See your Sunflower dealer for the true original and tillage tools. The Brush Art Corporation of Downs, Kansas would like to wish all of the 8-man All-Star Game participants the best luck in today's games in Beloit. And they're proud to support all area athletes and athletic programs. At Brush Art Corporation, they pride themselves on long-term personalized customer relationships with a variety of companies. Where do great brands turn to find solutions at work? Brush Art Corporation of Downs, Kansas. Proud to be a sponsor of today's 8-man All-Star Game. Bank at home 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with internet banking at the First National Bank in Beloit. View account balances, transfer funds between accounts, download account information, view account history and actual statements, and buy savings bonds. There's no service charge for basic internet banking. You can pay bills electronically, reorder checks, and it's safe and secure. Enroll online at www.fnbbeloit.com or stop in at the First National Bank, downtown Beloit, member FDIC. Wakanda Lake at Glen Elder is the new Wi-Fi hotspot. Wi-Fi at the lake is on us. Compliments of Cunningham Telephone and Cable and Glen Elder State Park. Spending a fun weekend at the lake doesn't mean you can't have the convenience of your smartphone and laptop. Cheyenne, the Marina, Kansas, Lake Cabins, and Sioux Call are all areas where you can pick up Wi-Fi. Make the lake your hotspot, your Wi-Fi hotspot. Cunningham Telephone and Cable. Offices in Glen Elder, Beloit, Concordia, and Belleville. Connect with us.
And alongside Dusty Dinas and Dan Page, Wade Gerstner back with you here at Trojan Field in Beloit, getting ready for the second half of the 8-man All-Star game, as it is the East with the lead over the West, 14-8. And, well, so far, the defenses have given up some yards, but they really haven't given up the big play, and the offenses have come up with some plays in short yardage situations to keep drives alive, and thus we, in essence, had really 4 drives, real legitimate drives in the first half, and 3 of them were touchdowns.
Yeah, and that's the thing is you're going to have when defenses are playing like they are, and then the offenses. Both of these teams have come out really in power type football and not really trying too much to get those big plays. I mean, obviously those are going to come like they did with LaRock in the first half, but you haven't seen those real big plays come throughout. Tranbarger had one for the West team, but just the way they're playing offensively, it lends more toward having those kind of things happen. Those long drives that 12, 14 plays in the first 2 for each team. And so, things are going to go a lot faster. You're not going to have as many opportunities as far as drives, but you're going to have those plays and getting plenty of plays in.
So the West will kick out. The East have a chance to take a 2-score lead. They get the ball first after deferring to start the ball game. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast today on KD Country 94, KXKU out of Hutchinson. Also 8manallstars.com and KDCountry94.com as the kickoff goes into the end zone for a touchback. And so the East will start at their own 15-yard line. We're talking about the talent on these teams. 12 of the 40 All-Stars will play football at the next level this fall in college. 1 will be doing track and field, and that's Dallas Thompson of Madison. 6 are attending Fort Hays State, 4 to play football, and we have 1 young man who couldn't make it here because he was called to boot camp serving our country. He plays for Team USA, the Army National Guard. So the East with the football on first down and 10 from the 15 out of I formation. They will give it to LaRock, and nothing there. Outstanding play made by Colton Zink of Central Plains, no gain.
You were talking about Hayden Sayre there of Madison. He's actually named the Jerry Slayton Most Inspirational Player last night, and he's not even here all week, but due to the fact that he is in the military and got called to serve right now and go to boot camp, Hayden Sayre was named the Jerry Slayton Most Inspirational Player this week.
That would certainly qualify you for the award, I would think. And also Paxton Knoll, West Elk, he had an injury and could not participate this week, but he was an all-star and was able to enjoy the festivities. He was introduced before the game today as Maverick LaRock is upended on the near side of the field at the 17, a gain of just 2. That didn't happen very often in the regular season. He's not used to flying in the air and, other than trying to go in for a touchdown.
So I don't even know what to say after that because, I don't think I've ever seen Mav get upended like that and just flip in the air.
Hit him low, and the big man fell. 3rd down and 8 at the 17 for the East, leading 14-8. Hawkins back to throw. They swing it over to LaRock, and LaRock is met and dropped. Nice job defensively by the West. Cole Steckline of Ness City was there. Colton Panzer in the vicinity as well. And also there for the West was Trevor Hawkins of Ness City. So a couple of Ness City Eagles who won the state championship a couple years ago under Chris Bamberger. And on the play, a gain of 1. That's it. So not much on the swing pass. 4th down. Well, the West, very impressive start to the second half with their defense. Here is the punt. First punt of the ball game. Nice deep punt by Hawkins. And it goes to the return man. And this is Tranbarger, who's dangerous in the open field. And there's Junker. 4 taking down 4 at the 36-yard line. We've got to talk to JT Junker at some point during this broadcast, if we can. Dan will work on that at some point here in the second half. So the West is in business. Prime real estate at their own 36, moving right to left here in the second half, but they trail 14-8. Now they mark it back to the 35-yard line.
It seems like anytime there's a tackle to be made, there's number 4 for the blue team, JT Junker from South Haven. Like I've said, Tranbarger's a great athlete, and if Junker can catch him from behind and be able to do that, then you can clearly see that he's doing well.
Let's go to Dan on the sideline, Colton Panzer.
Thanks, Wade. And Colton Panzer from Lincoln getting in on that defensive possession. Colton, what was the key to that for you guys?
Just making plays.
To getting those stops is what I'm talking about. What was the key to it? What did Coach tell you at halftime?
We're still in it. We're just beating ourselves. And we just got to take care of the little mistakes.
What does it mean to you to play in the 8-man All-Star game?
Oh, it means a lot, I've had a lot of friends that do it, and so for me to be one of them, it's a great feeling.
Well, Colton, good luck the rest of the game. I know you're tired right now. As the West get a stop, and they'll get the football.
All right, 2nd down and 10 at the 35-yard line for the West. In motion goes Krieger, and this is Kennedy keeping it. Powell will not play again due to a head injury. He was a starting quarterback, and Kennedy a lot of dancing and makes a few moves, and finally out of bounds on the near side. And I'll mark him out near the 35. Well, there's some hitting going on downfield away from the football.
Even around the football, Caleb Delino was taking that a little bit further than what you might like. I think he probably got some instruction from his sideline here on the near side to let up, or else he might have had 15 yards more tacked onto that one.
12-yard pickup for Chase Kennedy, first down for the West. Well, the 8-man All-Star game record for rushing yards, which that's not in jeopardy here today, but 251 by Mitch Ingleton at B&B a few years ago, and 426 yards by Unruh of Gossel a few years ago. I don't think any of those records are in danger because the defenses have been pretty solid.
Yeah, the passing one's definitely not in danger.
No, and that might not be for a long time. First down and 10, just inside the 34 for the West. Here's Kennedy, a little in around here on the inside give, and this is Lindsey from a wingback position, and nothing doing. Outstanding play made by Elijah Smith, the West Elk, and also there for the East All-Stars, Brett Peters of Lynn. We mentioned Elijah Smith quite a few times. He's done a nice job.
Yeah, Elijah Smith, I was going to say, I've been very, very impressed with what they have been doing defensively, and he's running real well from sideline to sideline. The whole defense is from the East, and Smith has been all over the place here earlier. They've really done a nice job containing everything as a team.
So 2nd down and 15 after a loss of 5 on the play. Out of the shotgun is Kennedy from Hoxie. He keeps it, has a seam out the middle, spins and can't get away from the tackle. Nice play made by Caden Vanderpool of Meridocene Valley, and also there assisting, you know who he is, JT Yunker of South Haven. And it looked like Kennedy, if he could just somehow shake that one tackler, he might have been off to the races, but instead he has to settle for a gain of 3.
Another good example of everybody doing their job. Smith got in there quick, but couldn't quite get to Kennedy that time, and then he had Vanderpool kind of looked like he was calf roping there, and took him down right by the ankles and made sure he didn't go any further. So again, another good defensive play by the East. The West just trying to do a lot of misdirection here, and it's really not confusing the East at this point.
Cameron Ginther heading out of the ball game, as is Zach Shue, as they rotate players offense. Now Shue is told to come back out there, and now we have, there's 8 out there. And now all kinds of confusion, timeout called. Clint Young, you could just kind of see that exasperation from his face over there from Kiowa County assistant coach. Takes his headset off. During the season, regular season, there might be a more vocal, emotional reply to having to burn another timeout like that. But 8-man All-Star games, you just kind of like dejectedly go, oh, man, we had to burn a timeout. There's all kinds of confusion. They kept going back and forth on the side. All right, let's go to the sideline to Dan Page.
Yeah, thanks, Wade. I'm with Colton Zink from Central Plains, the Oilers. And what's it like so far in the 8-man All-Star game?
It's a blast. I'm playing with a great bunch of kids. They're all terrific athletes, and we're getting tested out here by the East terrific athletes. I mean, what other kind of game could you have? It's like state championship.
I saw you flying around there that last defensive possession. What was the key to getting the stop for you guys?
The key is just flying around hitting people, doing your job, making sure everybody's in the right position at the right time. And when we come to play, we play hard.
Now, you don't know this, but I played football with one of your assistant coaches, Coach Brandon Weiser at Central Plains, and he had a ton of compliments about the leadership you bring to Central Plains and you'll bring today in the 8-man All-Star game. Where do you think that leadership comes from?
I think it comes from our head coach, Coach Steiner. He's been with me for 6 years. He's taught me to be the leader that I am on and off the field. He's got the character to get you fired up, and that's what he wants me to be able to do out on the field. And he knows I can.
All right, thanks, Colton. Go get him the rest of the game.
Yep, thank you.
Back.
All right, so with the carry is Chase Kennedy, and once again, good defensive pursuit by the East, and Kennedy a short gain, and right now we're seeing both defenses assert themselves here in the second half.
Yeah, definitely. As I've been saying, the East has been playing well. The West did a real nice job of getting the East off the field quick on their first possession. It's taken a little bit more time on this possession for the West, for the East team defensively, but they're doing a nice job as well.
So 4th down and 10 for the West. 7:35 to play in the third quarter. It's 14-8. East with the lead. Nobody has scored yet here in the second half. They spread it out with Tranbarger at quarterback. 2 receivers right, twins to the left. In the slot is Kennedy. Tranbarger from Maxville is trying to run loose. Gets away from Elijah Smith. Now he throws deep down the field, and it is intercepted by Zane Mills of Sedan at the 9-yard line. The late throw down the field. Tranbarger did a nice job of keeping the play alive, but then made a decision that he'd like to take back, airing it out. An easy pick for Mills.
Yeah, second interception of the game for Zane Mills there, and he's just been in the right place at the right time. Both picks have been relatively easy for Mills here in this game, but he's doing his job. He's staying where he needs to be, and again, another turnover for the West.
Yeah, 2 turnovers in the game. You mentioned 2 interceptions, both by Mills. Coming from 2 different quarterbacks. Kennedy threw the pick there before halftime, and now the pass thrown downfield by Tranbarger, and it's intercepted by Mills. So 1st down and 10 at the 9. Now Hawkins wants to throw deep in his own territory. He keeps it, and he picks up a few, and tackle made on the play by Trevor Smyers of Little River. Hawkins, a nice decision there. He wanted to throw it initially, but good coverage downfield.
Yeah, and the pursuit on the line was pretty good, too, so he just had to kind of tuck and get out of there quick, and Smyers was all over the play, and definitely playing well defensively, the West, here to start this next drive as well.
Smyers is going to go to K-State, all-league performer, 6'1", 180-pounder, 5 sacks and 93 tackles this year for Little River, and head coach Paul Dold. And when you're a head coach here and you got a couple of your kids here, and the one is Smyers for Little River, it makes it extra special. Here's the zone read, quarterback read, and the read is to give it to LaRock, and nothing doing. The West is there to gobble up Maverick LaRock and spit him out. And forward progress back to the original line of scrimmage of 9, so we'll bring up 3rd down and 10.
That's a situation where there's too many people bearing down on you, and it took too long to make a decision where you wanted to give the ball, whether you wanted to give or whether you wanted to keep. Credit Maverick LaRock, he actually never went down, but he was pushed back, forward progress was stopped, and another nice play defensively by the West of keeping their assignments.
So 3rd down and 10 from the 9 for the East. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. They spread it out. This is Hawkins. He wants to go deep. Now he goes to a second read, and now it's just up for grabs. A jump ball, and it is intercepted by the West. Making the pick at the 37-yard line for the D1 West All-Stars is Trevor Hawkins of Ness City. It was a jump ball. He went up and got it. That was almost like a punt, and everybody trying to catch a punt, but nobody has a fair catch signal. And give Hawkins a lot of credit. He just went up and got that, Dusty. 6'1", 175-pounder, going to Wichita State. He makes the play for the pick.
That was Hawkins to Hawkins.
Yes,
Unfortunately, the other Hawkins plays for the West team. And I saw Matt Jones down there, and I was sure he was going to be the one that was going to go up and get that. And here's Hawkins from Ness City giving up about 5 inches to Jones, and he gets it.
He timed it perfectly. So turnover for turnover. The West back in business at their own 36. Now a low snap. Candy does somehow get it to Krieger, but nothing there. Well, you had Brett Peters shooting through in the backfield, and on top of that, Kennedy couldn't handle the snap, and there was all kinds of problems. And the West, fortunate they only lost a couple.
Yeah, and something breaks down like that, JT Younker's going to be all over it, and he was again there to make the stop. So, it's again kind of interesting to see as the game goes on if they can work out the snap issues. There's been 3 times now where it hasn't quite gone the way they wanted it to. Obviously, there's different situations, and the field conditions are probably helping that.
Okay, it'll be 2nd down and 13 after the 3-yard loss. And here's Kennedy. Keeps Elijah Smith is there to meet him along with Peters of Lynn. There's a flag on the play as it was a gain of 4. 4 penalties for the West, 2 penalties on the East today.
The initial signal was a face mask there from the side judge.
Face mask on the East. And so they mark off the penalty yardage. We'll make it 3rd and short. After being 2nd and 13, the West will be faced with a short situation. They're saying 2nd down because of the penalty that they mark off. So 2nd down and about 4.5 for the West, trailing 14-8 with 4:30 to go in the 3rd quarter. Kennedy in the gun. Hands it off. This is Krieger of Hodgeman County. He dances like a jitterbug and finally taken out at the 35-yard line. So a gain of 4 brings up 3rd and 1.
Amazing to me how kids can change direction as fast as he was going. I mean, he looked like he was going to cut back inside, and then all of a sudden, in about a half a second, he's going back outside and picking up 3 more yards. I don't understand how he's even able to do that.
It's amazing what those kids can do. And then you think about a guy that was a jitterbug, Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
Man, you sit there and you thought, how did his legs stay in one piece with the moves that he made? He broke some people's ankles during his time. And here is Kennedy on 3rd and 1. And guess who? J.T. Yunker again.